Welcome to the Now, I'm Ashley Jenkins. Activision and Infinity Ward got your messages about Infinite Warfare loud and clear. That you love it so much, they're just gonna have to make more of it. In a new interview, narrative director Taylor Kurosaki said that the goal is to turn Call of Duty in space into its own new franchise. Speaking with Polygon, Kurosaki referred to Infinite Warfare as our own new branch of the Call of Duty tree. What we are developing here could certainly support multiple games, but don't get too alarmed, Call of Duty faithful. Considering the cliffhanger ending of Infinity Ward's previous outing, Call of Duty Ghosts, they probably felt the same way about that game too. Still, at the numbers that Call of Duty games pull, this game could sell way worse than it normally does and still top out over 20 million copies. So you never know, they could get their way. And then the warfare will be well and truly infinite in every sense of the word. But maybe not. We have to wait 4 more years to see the Summer Olympics again, but it's already looking like Tokyo 2020 is going to be a huge hit with gamers, and geeks at least. The closing ceremony of the Rio Olympics this weekend featured a handoff of the games to Japan. To preview their take on the games, Japan turned to one of its most iconic worldwide icons, which is part of what goes with being iconic. Anyway, Mario! The ceremony ended with a video of Mario going through a warp pipe from Tokyo to Rio, with Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe coming out of the other side, dressed in the plumber's overalls and hat. Pretty cool that with all the different things Japan could have done, they chose Mario. Certainly makes you curious to see how they're going to put their spin on things in 2020. Let's just hope Tetsuo doesn't show up, because Japan predicted this 2020 Tokyo Olympic ship back in 1982 with Akira. I'm just saying. Is Destiny going free to play? Well, that's a complicated question. There's been speculation for some time that the base version of Destiny might eventually go free to play in its final days, and that speculation gained new life yesterday thanks to the game's Microsoft Store listing. The store currently lists the game as free with in-app purchases. However, Bungie squished all the rumors yesterday on their own forums, stating that it may appear free on some digital marketplaces, but that only gives people access to a trial mode of the game. They'll still have to purchase it for full content. While there are some out there who would probably consider dipping into Destiny for the price of, well, free $99, it probably was a little bit much to expect the game to go free just before a major expansion. That's not the way they normally work, but it wouldn't be a surprise to see that happening later on. Sure, perhaps sometime next year, just months before Destiny 2 is set to launch. Get like the very last people into the franchise, and then launch the sequel. Yeah? People do it all the time with games for gold and stuff. First, the PlayStation meeting was rumored to bring the announcement of the PS4 Neo, then it was rumored to bring the announcement of the PS4 Slim, and now new rumors point to it also being the debut of a brand new PlayStation branded handheld, because, you know, that's gone so well for them. Neo gaffers have rediscovered some Foxconn leaks from back in June, which are now confirmed to be the PS4 Slim. At the same time, the Foxconn worker also mentioned production of a smaller PSP-like device alongside the Slim. However, it's worth noting that the small tablet device in production wasn't confirmed to be a PSP. It could just as easily be for the Nintendo NX, because Foxconn does work on both brands. But another Japanese blog has also reported that Sony filed 2 new wireless devices with the FCC, with one of the model numbers corresponding with the PS Vita. In even more Sony news, the company has also noted that they are raising the price of PlayStation Plus by $10 as of the end of September. That marks the service's first ever price hike, interestingly enough, probably to pay for all the new hardware, considering they could be announcing as many as 3 of them in the next month. They could have just announced this Eddy 3, right, and made it way cooler, but I mean, I guess, you know, they gotta have their own party too. That's fine. If you've ever wanted to spend way too much money on way too many movies that are way too long, well, New Line and Warner Brothers have heard the call of Gondor, and they're riding to your aid. The massive 30-disc Middle-earth limited collector's edition set of Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit debuted yesterday to the tune of $800 at various retailers. This Balrog-sized set comes complete with 70 hours of extra content, all 6 extended editions, faux leather books for each film. I mean, for $800, couldn't we get like real leather made out of, like, I don't know, goblins or something? I mean, it's $800. And it does come with a Hobbit-sized shelf for the whole thing, though, so I guess there's that. It looks like the price has been marked down significantly in the wake of the internet's pointing and laughing, but even at a marked down $600, you have to wonder who this set is really meant for. I can think of like one person. It's also worth noting that you can currently buy the extended editions of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings for a total of about $120 separately. So, I don't know, that might still be too much. Despite the odds and the naysayers, Suicide Squad is still #1 at the box office 3 weekends after its initial release. The movie pulled in another $20 million in box office earnings over the weekend here in the States, plus another $38 million overseas, bringing the overall total to around $572 million globally. They still have a ways to go for that $700 to $800 million target reportedly set by Warner Brothers, but the DC movie is still marching on. However, just like we noted in last week's roundup, the competition for Suicide Squad this weekend, well, it wasn't exactly stiff. In fact, it was helped out by a couple of bombs. Sausage Party fell to $15 million in its second weekend, but War Dogs, Kubo and the Two Strings, and Ben-Hur all debuted with meager openings of $14 million, $12 million, and $11 million respectively. That last one probably stings the most in particular, with the Ben-Hur remake costing more than $100 million to make. At this point, it's probably safe to label that one the biggest bomb this summer, which is certainly saying something this year. Suicide Squad, you're off the hook. It's official, everyone. Netflix and Chill is out. It's time for a new player to enter the streaming game. Enter Man Bang, North Korea's new Netflix rivaling service, which I'm totally signing up for based on the name alone, that unlike Netflix is state approved for your viewing enjoyment. And yes, it really is spelled Man Bang, in what has to be the most hilarious and unfortunate international product translation of all time. The name Man Bang means everywhere, which is kind of funny because it's only available in 3 regions of North Korea at the moment, so not even living up to its name in any shape or form. If you're wondering what man bangers get to watch on The Man Bang, they can choose to replay a number of Kim Dynasty documentaries, watch state-approved channels in real time, and learn Russian and English. That's, of course, assuming that you can actually connect to the internet, considering only a few thousand people in North Korea reportedly even have access. Even still, you've got to admit that Man Bang and Chill has a much nicer ring to it than Netflix and Chill. It's much more clear about what the expectations are. You know, because of the implication. And lastly, we have an update to the ongoing saga of Harambee. Yesterday, we reported on the Cincinnati Zoo, Harambee's former home, finally taking a stand against the internet and asking people to stop posting Harambee memes, which, as we said would happen, only made things much worse. After getting flooded by a new outpouring of Harambee memes, it seems the Cincinnati Zoo has officially deactivated their Twitter account. So far, they haven't made another official comment about what happened, although the Cincinnati Enquirer approached them about their deactivated Twitter account, to which the zoo replied, "Thanks, we know." The Enquirer is also reporting that Maynard's Twitter account was hacked by a Harambee fan for a brief time over the weekend. At some point, you kind of gotta feel bad for whoever is running PR over there, but then again, it probably wasn't a great idea to goad the internet into posting more memes. That's what the internet does best. Never let him see you flinch. What do you guys think of all these stories in today's roundup? Be sure to let us know in the comments, and for future updates from every corner of the internet, like this video and subscribe to The Know. This doesn't have real pockets, they're pretend pockets. I hate pretend pockets. These aren't girl pockets.
There's no pockets.
They're unpockets. Yeah. No pockets.